under the bridge. History, all history. So let me tell y'all what's going on here. Treme, how jazz was invented. Here in New Orleans, in Congo Square. Remember, everyone had a square, Congo Square. Today, that's Armstrong Park. We had something called a Code Noir here in New Orleans. It was a black code. There was a bunch of rules we had to follow to live here. I'll tell you a few rules. If you're Jewish, you were not allowed in this colony, but they were still here. If you're a slave, they called you servant. Your servants weren't allowed to get severely abused. If they found that out, the owners were going to get executed if they found that out. This is before the Civil War. Because they did that because here in New Orleans, you could purchase your freedom before the Civil War. And those guys were called free persons of color. And the free persons of color are the same ones that started St. Augustine Parish. St. Augustine is the oldest oldest African-American Catholic parish in America. Started by the free persons of color right on your left in Treme. Treme, oldest African-American neighborhood in America. Also, you were off on Sundays and holidays if you're a servant. And you had to be baptized Catholic here and all, as though you had no choice under the Code Noir. You had to be Catholic. So on Sundays, everybody would congregate in the Congo Square, play music, and practice religion. Under the Code Noir, you couldn't do that. No religion, none of that. But you know what? They turned their heads and let them do it. So every other culture didn't believe it, and they snuck over there and joined and added, they joined in with the music. And they added their little music, and they created a weird little sound and all that's called jazz. Not one person is credited for creating jazz. Everybody came together and created this weird little sound called jazz. Culture. It's like a gumbo pot. Y'all ever had a gumbo? Mixture of everything. Everyone pitched in for that sound. So this is how Treme where jazz was invented on your left. Everything can you do over there? Look at Cajun seafood. Hey, I don't want to hear your mouth. You better come here on your right to get some real seafood. This is not the French Quarters. You're right outside of the French Quarters, but look at this on your right. You can sit in there. It's safe. There's real crawfish meals in there. You're not going to get a platter. You're going to get a pound. They get over on y'all when you get a platter. You can't eat a platter of crawfish. You need like 3 pounds of that stuff to get filled up. One platter, $30, $25, that's just too much. They give you one potato and a sausage. Come on now, y'all come here and eat some real food like everyone else. The po' boys are really inexpensive. You can 3 people you can eat off one po' boy. All right, $9. Gumbo, real tasty seafood in it, real cheap, $8. Now you know where to go. Cajun. On your left?
Huh?
Look at that picture of Fats Domino. See him on your left?
I said I'd have a pink house in my living.
He's on the column of the bridge.
I was.
He's still gonna be looking at you. Now when I take this right, look down to the left at the outer columns of the bridge. When I take the right, look at the left at the outer columns of the bridge. You're gonna notice that the artist drew oak trees. Oak trees. See them on your left?
Yeah.
That's all history under the bridge. No graffiti. Okay. Over on your right, coming up. This is the Dufour Baldwin House. This house was owned by Creoles and free persons of color on your right. So, y'all remember uptown on St. Charles where the Americans had their big, beautiful mansions? Well, this is their St. Charles downtown. This is Esplanade Street, known as Millionaires Row. This is where the Creoles and free persons of color came to show off their horses and carriages, their puffy dresses, and their big giant mansions on Esplanade Promenade. Check out the burglar alarm systems on top of this brick gate on your right. See on your right? On that shiny coconut?
Wow.
Oh, y'all don't do that where you're from?
Wow.
The house is being renovated, by the way, don't Katrina. I'm going to tell y'all about Creoles in a minute. But first, we paint the homes in all this green and white because green and white is said to keep the evil spirits away. Look over on your right. Y'all see the green? Y'all see the green and white houses over there on your right?
Yeah.
See the evil spirits? But it works. You know what else keeps the evil spirits away?
What?
The little blue signs that says ADT. Hey, y'all know there's a movie called Detroit coming out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who's starring in that? Anthony what? Mackie, the African-American actor?
Mm-hmm.
He plays Falcon on The Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Take a look at this yellow house on your right. This is where Anthony Mackie lives. He needs a lady, huh? Because he ain't got no curtains. Hey, he's a bachelor. That's his Black Ops truck on your right. That's where Anthony Mackie lives. He needs some new curtains anyway, Anthony.
Yeah,
I know. He's an interior designer.
Let's knock on the door.
Where'd you go hook him up?
Yeah, you can always just stand by the bus stop if you want to stalk him. right on your right. You see a truck coming out, just run in front of it and say, "Hi,
It's a purple house.
That's your house.
That's Bayou Road on your right. That's part of the old Indian Portage on your right.
One for
That's
sure.
how the
I don't
Indians
know
would
that
get to New Orleans.
turquoise is
See, Esplanade
pretty.
wasn't always a street. It wasn't always Millionaire's Road. This was a bayou.
And that lime green with
That's how the Indians would get to New Orleans.
I love all of that.
Bayou, you know, it's here. The colors on your left remind you of the Caribbean. I know they do.
I love it.
Caribbean style colors. Oh, you talking about that greenhouse? It's leaving? Just don't stand on that side of the house. Now coming up on your left is the Edgar Degas house. Degas was a French painter. Do you see the plaque on your left?
Yeah.
He painted a stele right there at his house. Coming up on your left is the Edgar Degas house. You see that plaque? He was a French painter. He painted a stele right there at his house. They better make up their mind which house is his. You know which house is his? None. He never lived there a day in his life. It's his grandma's house.
Oh, wow.
He visited one little summer and they labeled it Edgar Degas house. You don't need to celebrate. That's the Free Person of Color Museum on the corner on your left. They're
Oh,
close
this-
to the guys. Right on your left.
Yeah, they got real short hours.
Might
So
be,
now we know where
that
it
might
is.
be friends. Yep. Now on your left right here is the John McDonald High School. Mr. John McDonald is now from New Orleans. He came here from Baltimore and fell in love with our city. Most of all, he fell in love with the kids. He loved the kids so much that when he passed away, he willed all of his money to the children of New Orleans and Baltimore. Oh, we loved him too because we named 30 schools after the fella. Yep. We even gave him a McDonald name. See that on your right? Tasty Donuts? A guy by the name of Gil Copeland owned that. He had a bunch of those Tasties across New Orleans. You know what? His little brother name was Al Copeland. Al Copeland dropped out of high school and purchased him a little Tasty donut and sold his first little car to get it. You know what Al Copeland did? He learned how to work the restaurant business. So you know what Al did? After he turned in his Tasty donuts, he started the first little chicken joint called Popeye's Chicken in Araby. Yep. Araby, right outside of Chalmette, right outside of the 9th Ward. That's John McDonald 28, on your right. Well, they changed the name to City Park Academy everywhere. Yep, so Al Copeland started Popeye's Chicken right here. No. Right outside of Dollars and Araby.
Oh, that's pretty.
Everyone likes this house on your right. You know Popeye's fried chicken is not named after Popeye the Sailor Man, right?
Yep.
Anybody ever seen the movie The French Connection?
Yeah.
What's the name of the detective?
Papa Doyle.
That's what Popeye's is named after. We never had an apostrophe S because Al said he couldn't afford an apostrophe. Look at this on your right, that house. Real pretty, right? Under the steps is where the horses would live.
Wow.
The steps are separated because ladies and gentlemen were not allowed to walk up the same steps together. They said if a guy seen your ankles, ladies, he can ask you to marry him. Yep, and if you refuse to marry him, they would hold you down and brand you and label you loose as a goose.
Showing your ankles.
Look over on your right and your left at how the holes are sitting. You'll notice that they're angled. The reason the holes are angled, they weren't in the air conditions. So they angled the holes so you can sit on the porch and catch a little breeze. They also built the holes with high ceilings because heat rises. Over on your right, second floor. Y'all see those tall windows up there on your right that open up like doors? The tall windows up there on your right open up like doors. Why would they do that? Remember when I told y'all the more doors you had, the more taxes you had to pay? Yeah. Those are windows, right? Those aren't doors. What? Triangular piece of land on your left, that's called a pocket park. If you wanted to find out what happened to who last night and who did it on Bourbon Street, you find you one of those. It's kind of like a gossip park. Down the street to your right, you're going to see where the fairgrounds is where the horses race, off to your right. Owned by Bernard Marin, the crap guy. He started that place, and that's where the Jazz Festival was held. On your left coming up, you're going to see a little pink house. This here's a Cajun cottage on your left. Cars behind us. See this little pink house on your left? Cajun cottage.
I like this one better.
Creole. In the beginning of time, French mixed with Spanish and African. Got you a Creole. Today, if you're born in New Orleans, you're a Creole no matter who you are.
So what's the difference
Put it like this.
between-
Hold on. Put it like this. If you understand what I'm saying, if you're born in New Orleans,
Yeah.
put it like this. If you come to New Orleans on vacation, and you have a baby in our city on your vacation, your baby's Creole. You want a Creole baby? Come to New Orleans.
Okay.
Cajuns came from Nova Scotia, Canada. That's where Cajuns come from, Canada. So Creoles from New Orleans, Cajuns from where?
Canada.
Canada. Nova Scotia, Canada. You got a question?
Yeah, I was going to ask you the difference between the Cajun and the Creoles. but you answered.
Like,
What about the food, though? The difference between the food?
the food would be, if you think about it, if the Cajuns settled in the swamps, not the city, that means they would have more gamey food, right?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, gator, that's possum and rabbit. That's Cajun. Creole would be more gumbo-ish, you know. Etouffee, stuff like that. Red beans and rice, jambalaya, that would be more Creole.
Okay.
Look over on your right. This St. Louis Cemetery number 3. Here in New Orleans, we have over 40 above ground cemeteries. We call our cemeteries here in New Orleans cities of the dead because they have little rooftops and they look like little homes.
Are we going to get out?
I'm going to let y'all out and take pictures. Everyone doesn't like to get out. So I have to tell y'all what's going on. All right? Y'all want to know what's going on?
Yeah.
Does anyone know why we bury above ground?
Water tank.
Who keep telling y'all that? That's not true.
Don't tell us. Right.
Oh, we have a, you know what we have here? We have a problem with these tour guys not telling y'all the truth back in those days. And now we have this whole world believing that the coffins used to float up and that's why we bury above ground. That's not true. Hey, you can even Google that right now. They're going to tell you that online right now. I'm not even going to lie to you. Y'all can look it up right now. They're going to tell you the same thing. But you're not following historians online. I don't know who those people are. And you're not following any archaeologists, I can tell you that. See, archaeologists, what they do? They dig. So when they dig here, you know what they find? Clay and shells. They don't find any water. There's no water there. Now we're going to have to rewind time all the way back to the Ice Age. On this continent, in the Ice Age, during the Ice Age, the ice started to melt. Where did the ice melt? Does anyone know? In the Midwest. That's how the river got here. So they fall down river and the mouth of the river and the delta. And you know what? Has anyone ever heard that the river used to switch directions and then it jumps? Anybody heard of that? The Mississippi River jumps its banks? That's what it used to do. It used to jump the banks. So it switched over centuries. Over time, it switched this way, that way. And then the last time it jumped, it left Lake Pontchartrain behind. And that's why they call Lake Pontchartrain the child of the Gulf. And then you know what else it left behind? This little soup bowl right here that we call New Orleans. Land. Yeah, we're shaped like a little soup bowl. And then that's why they say we're below sea level. So below sea level doesn't mean anything. It has nothing to do with water. All right, this is still y'all, we're below sea level. All right. So when they left this little land right here, and the river it is where it is. This land been here for a long time. It's been here forever. So when the French finally found this little area, they just wanted to stay closer to the river because they had to control everything upriver. So they never ventured all the way out here. But they did because they granted Mr. John Baptiste Bienville acres and acres of land back this way. They knew land was here. They just was covering the front ports to make sure no one else don't come through this area, like the British and the English. They even have an area called the English Turn, where they turned the English around. Because the English was about to get here, and they said, no, there's nothing that way, so they turned around. That's why it's called English Turn. Well, so when the French came, you know what they started to do? Bury people 14 inches in the ground. You know what disease you get for burying people 14 inches in the ground? It starts with a C. Cholera. That's why we had an outbreak of cholera. What else happens when you bury people 14 inches in the ground? They float up. So that part was true, right? That's where they get the story from. They floated up. They did float up. Yeah, they did. Okay, they floated up. But hold on. What would you do if you was living here? You would have to finally stop it. You have to fix it, right? You can't go on living your life trying to start a colony with people floating all over the place. So what they did was they drilled holes in the coffins and put weights in them, and they hired men to watch those coffins from floating. And then you want to know what happened after that? Nothing. They went on living their little French life. That was it. Then all of a sudden, guess who pops up? Y'all forgot already? Who popped up after the French?
Spanish.
Spanish popped up, right? So guess who buries above ground? Spanish. Anybody been anywhere Spanish before? Spain? Y'all didn't know that the Spanish bury above ground?
No.
Well, why would you know that? Because who in the world visits cemeteries? You guys. You don't go to Las Vegas and say, hey, buddy, where's the cemetery? That's why, yeah, you know that?
First place I took it.
Yep.
Why didn't they bury them deeper, 6 feet under?
Nah, that was a French. I don't know why. Because I guess the river wasn't as high as it was. And by the river flooding, they probably was scared that, you know, if they dug any further, people were superstitious back then. All right, and they probably figured if they dug any further, then, you know, probably going to hit more water. Yeah, they were real superstitious. So, now y'all know. Now, you know what? It's not 100% though. Because, I can tell you, the archaeologists, they find, that's true. They didn't find any water. There's no water table thingy, whatever that is. All right, so I can let y'all know that even the historians are clashing with why. It's not really the why part, it's the reason part. You can't say why. We know why they bought their customs here. That's why we have this today. But they didn't start out with that. They started out with the wall. See the wall? Anybody ever seen the wall in Spain? Yeah, just Google Spain cemetery. The wall's going to pop up. So when they arrived here, they started with the wall. They didn't start with these. That's what's kind of messing you guys up. These weren't here. We had a wall. Then over the years, you know, Spanish took all the way over. They started popping up these mausoleums for different families. These are family too. So with the wall, they arrived and said, hey, it's up to you. You can stay below ground if you want. Or you can come up here where it's luxury. So a lot of people stayed below ground and some people went above. Well, I can tell you that even the historians, they can't really give you 100% the reason. But they started this in Spain because it was a space saver. We was running out of spaces to put bodies over here too. They ran out of spaces to put people over there in Spain because of all the diseases. That's why they started this in Spain. But when they came here, they noticed that, hey, we needed it. We needed it anyway because yellow fever was here. We had nowhere to put bodies. They were throwing them in the river. So in that wall, they used to stuff bodies in the wall. And that's where the poor is buried. In the cemetery, we have a wall. It's straight ahead. You remember the wall we passed up? For Lafayette Cemetery? That's the wall. Those are tombs. So now you know. Like I said, we can only give you what the books say. I'm not going to give you 100%, but we can tell you it's not causing the floating up stuff. Now the Frenchmen fixed that. So maybe this was done for the space saver, or maybe they're going to do this because this